Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. May 15th, which means there is a clash of the Titans tomorrow. Yankees versus Mets, Subway Series 2025. I know a lot of you have had this circled on your calendar for a long time. Since the moment that we got the breaking news from Jeff Passan that Juan Soto was signing with the Mets, I think a lot of us have had this, if not circled on our calendar, kind of in our mental calendar as something we're looking forward to. And you don't find out what teams are made of when things are easy. You find out when things are hard. And the Yankees and Mets are both in first place. Are they the best two teams in baseball? Probably not. But they're both leading their division by a few games. They both have megastars. They both have their weaknesses too. But there is going to be a serious playoff vibe in the ballpark tomorrow. So let's get your voicemails in. We've got a number of them to get to. You look at this matchup, and it just feels like October. And with the buzz in the city about the Mets and the Yankees and the Knicks, this is a great time to be a fan of New York sports. But underneath the hype, we've got some real questions to answer. Can the Yankees get big hits off of big arms? You know, this is not just another series. It's about pride. Pride of the fan base, pride of the players, pride of the organizations. I got to tell you, since the Subway Series, World Series, I really haven't cared that much about the Subway Series. I mean, it's a fun gimmick each year, but the Mets really haven't been that great. Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009, so it really has never felt like, okay, this could be a potential World Series matchup, but it really could be. We've seen over the years that baseball doesn't necessarily crown the best team or the most talented team. Sometimes they crown the team that gels the best, or the team that's the toughest, or the team that's the most clutch. And we're about to find out how tough these two teams are, and how clutch these two teams are, and how bad they want it. And the fans are going to be awesome. Like this crowd, these are 3 nationally televised games. It's going to be loud. They're going to be pumping up the volume. It's going to be packed, standing room only. And yes, people are going to be booing Juan Soto. That's going to be the story. And we got some voicemails about that. I saw Michael K. had a little rant today about whether or not people should boo Juan Soto. I have some thoughts on that. I'll wait till I play the voicemail to reveal them. But no word yet on if we're getting Jonathan Loaizaga. I haven't seen it anyway. But we could sure use him this weekend. Without question, the weak spot on this Yankees team has been the bullpen. Last year's team probably wins 100 games if Clay Holmes had pitched better. And we might be facing the same situation this year. I don't know if we're a 100-win team. Got a 100-win offense. But right now, we should have 4 or 5 more wins if not for the bullpen. But flat out, the New York Yankees are going to need to hit good pitching if they want to win this series. There's that old adage in baseball, good pitching always beats good hitting. Well, we're about to find out. Keep those voicemails coming in. We're going to do some right now, but we're also going to do a show tomorrow before the game. We're going to do another voicemail show on Saturday and then one on Sunday. My Nostra Derek predictions for the weekend. I think the Yankees are going to take 2 out of 3. I think they're going to win tomorrow night. I think they're going to probably drop game 2. And then I think they're going to win game 3 with Max Fried on the mound. I'm also predicting a big series from Ben Rice, a big series from Paul Goldschmidt. Trent Grisham remains hot. Would not surprise me if he gets a couple of big hits. And that would be apropos because he was part of that Juan Soto trade. And obviously Aaron Judge needs to establish himself as the king of New York. But it's going to be a really, really fun 3 games, a really intense 3 games. And I'm sure that this channel is going to be buzzing for the next several days. So let's get to some comments. James Masucci says, hi, everybody. Let's go Yankees. Edward Ng says, we got to take the first game. The pitching matchup favors us. 100% agree. Action VJ says, Soto can hit 3 home runs per game, and I don't care as long as we win. Amen to that, brother. Here's the first call from Milton.
Hi there, Derek. This is Milton from Texas. I just would give my 2 cents in. It may sound a little childish, but I'll say it anyway. I think the way they should greet the Juan Soto this weekend is basically is not to do anything. Just sit on your hand and just personalities. They don't like neutral. They like either boos or they like applause. But when you're indifferent to them, when you kind of ignore them, they don't like that part. I don't really think that part. Now I know that whether he has a big ego or not. Now, don't get me wrong. I wanted Juan Soto in a team, but not at the risk of not getting Goldie and Fried and Bellinger and Williams. And look how great Grisham and Rice has been. So don't get me wrong. But for $5 million more that he turned down with the Yankees, I know it was over 16 years, but still $5 million more not to stay with the most famous team in the world, sports team in the world, So I would just sit on my hand and not say anything. Just let him hit the home run or let him make the hit and just let him, play his game, but not to do anything with him.
Appreciate the call, Milton. Appreciate the call. So here are my thoughts. Michael Kay had said today that if you want to boo, you should boo every time the ball gets near him, every time he comes to bat. But I also understand where Milton's coming from. The opposite of love, and the Yankees fans showed Juan Soto a lot of love last year. The opposite of love isn't hate. It's apathy. It's apathy. And I don't think Yankees fans are still apathetic. I think that they feel a little bit jilted. I think that they're upset. I'm not one to tell Yankees fans what to do. I would boo. If I were there, I would boo. Because he left us over a very small amount of money. We might be better off without him. I mean, the offense is deeper with Paul Goldschmidt, and, hopefully Cody Bellinger continues to turn it around. And, the fact that we were able to add Max Fried, if we didn't have Max Fried, which we wouldn't have had if we signed Juan Soto, where would this rotation be? The Yankees probably would not be in first place. I'll tell you that. I would boo. I would still boo. Now, I get people who, want to cheer him for what he did with the Yankees last year and how he helped get us to the World Series. He hit one of the biggest home runs in Yankees history. If you want to cheer him, cheer him. All I'm saying is that every fan has the right to express themselves. That's what comes with the ticket. But let's be a little bit more classy than chanting F Juan Soto. I agree with Michael K. there. Let's try. I mean, there are kids in the ballpark. It's on TV. We don't want to come across as a disgusting fan base. Don't throw anything at him. Just, use your voice, use your emotions and your heart, and do what you got to do. Here's a save situation.
Hey, Derek, it's a save situation. Very nice win for the Yankees. An all-out great team effort today. Wanted to get your opinion on Will Warren. It kind of reminds me of how Clark Schmidt started, so I'd like to hear your take. Is he a lot better? Is he going to be better? Is this the Will Warren that we want?
So
let me know what you think. Take care. Bye-bye.
When Will Warren came up last year, he got shelled. He was awful. And the first several starts this year, he was awful. And perhaps I need to be more patient, especially with pitchers. With position players, I tend to be patient because I can see a lot more of them. And I understand, but pitchers it's once every 5 days. So if they have a bad start, they have a clunker, it can leave a bad taste in your mouth for, the better part of a week. And so, I mean, you go back and you look at the highlights or whatever, you see the guy getting a hit. It's difficult to have as big a leash with pitching because pitching can sink you. If you have a rookie and he's a left fielder, let's call him Mason Smaminguez. And then he goes 0 for 3. Well, it's like, he'll get a chance tomorrow. if the team wins, you can survive one player going 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts or whatever, and you go get them the next day. Get right back on the horse. But if a pitcher gives up 5 runs in 2 innings or something like that, not a very good chance that you'll win that game, and it crushes the bullpen. It affects the next day. So I'm a lot less patient. I tend to be a lot less patient with starting pitching. And maybe that's just my fault. That's just how I choose to fan, right? But I will say this about Will Warren. He's looked a lot better lately.
I've never been so wrong in my whole life.
And it does remind me a little bit about the start that Clarke Schmidt had. Clarke Schmidt has turned it around. I don't think Clarke Schmidt had as many strikeouts early on as Will Warren does. Will Warren gets a ton of swings and misses. A ton. This is a longer voicemail.
What's going on, Derek? Excited for this Subway Series coming up. It's going to be interesting to see Judge versus Soto, battle of the right fielders, best in New York. Let's see. If we have Rodon and Fried going, I'd like to think that the pitching favors us this weekend. You'd like to think that anyway, at least with those 2 guys. So let's hope for a good one. Hold the Mets down, and hopefully the boys' offense here can explode. Also, just wanted to say real quick, Warren is starting to look much better. He's getting obviously better with every start, gaining more and more confidence. You like to see that. He's slowing the game down a little bit when he gets runners on. I think that was one of his major faults, actually, earlier in his season here, that anytime he got runners on, it seemed like the game just avalanched out of control on him really fast. And, he's taking a breath, not letting one hit and then maybe a walk and 2 guys on, not allowing that big 3-run home run. You kind of like to see that type of thing from him. So hopefully he keeps progressing as a young, dangerous starter in the big leagues. All right, man. See ya.
I appreciate the call, Brian. I also wanted to show Clarke Schmidt. We just looked at Will Warren's StatCast numbers, but since somebody compared him to Clarke Schmidt, I wanted to bring up Schmidt, and you see his StatCast numbers look terrific this year. The pitching run value is down, which is weird because all of his other stuff is really good. And you see his fastball velo is not even qualified because he barely throws it. I mean, he throws cutters and sweepers and curves. He barely throws the fastball, but he doesn't have quite as many strikeouts as innings pitched. Last year, he had more strikeouts than innings pitched. A year before that, not quite as many. But if you go back and look at Will Warren, way more strikeouts than innings pitched. And, I mean, these are 2 guys that could be following a similar path. Will Warren, 25. Clarke Schmidt, 29. Be interesting to see what Will Warren develops into. But I got to say, I feel like he might be turning the corner with his confidence. As you mentioned, slowing the game down a little bit more. That's important for a young pitcher to realize that you can strike guys out. Now, he looks at his numbers. I'm sure he looks at the StatCast stuff. I'm sure he looks at the strikeouts per innings pitched, and he realizes, hey, I don't need to be perfect. I don't need to nibble on every pitch. I can go right after guys. And once you realize that, man, there's no telling what you can do with confidence. Confidence is so important for baseball players, especially pitchers, because it causes you to throw strikes or to avoid the strike zone. So I love what we're seeing. I'm glad we're not going to see him in this series, though. He pitched well against, I believe it was the A's and the Mariners. So out west, east is a different story. In baseball, as in life, it's all about having that extra edge, that little extra half second of a swing, the late break on a slider, or the grit to outlast your opponent on a hot afternoon. Same goes for shaving. Harry's gives you the edge where it counts. I tried the $5 trial set, and honestly, it's like the ace of my bathroom rotation. The handle's weighted just right, the razor is smooth, and the foaming shave gel lathers better than anything I have used before. I keep my beard tight around the jawline, clean edges, no irritation. Harry's handles it with ease. Even the packaging is big league. And their body wash, I've got the Redwood scent. It's like a fresh cut field on opening day. Get the edge on your shave with Harry's razors. Normally, their trial set is $10, but right now you can get it for just $5 at harrys.com/stripe. That's harrys.com/stripe for a $5 trial set. Another call?
Hey, Derek, it's Isaiah. I thought I'd make a quick call. I was watching Paul Goldschmidt's interview after last night's game against the series finale against Seattle. And I just gotta say, he was talking about how since he knew that he was going to pinch hit with the Yankees and it was a new role for him because he was used to playing every day, he said he reached out to a bunch of guys over the offseason that had more familiarity with pinch hitting, like Matt Carpenter, I think his old hitting coach or something like that. And honestly, it's just really refreshing to have a real professional on the team who cares about his craft and like those things matter to him. So I think that's the key reason why he's been so successful in New York so far.
Yeah, I mean, great call. I'm loving what we're seeing from Goldie. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Paul Goldschmidt's StatCast stuff too, because he's been really the revelation of the year for me. You know, when you look back at what he did last year, it was really a slow start, and then he turned it on in the second half. But the guy's hitting .346. He's having numbers like his MVP season. His on-base percentage is almost .400. You know, he's got a .901 OPS. 5 homers, including the pinch hit home run yesterday, through 162 at-bats. And he's been solid on defense. I mean, you look at the fielding metrics, and he's only in the 38th percentile of outs above average. So, you know, he's not going to win any gold gloves out there, but just make the plays, right? If you're in there at first base and you're hitting like this, you're in there for your bat, right? We don't need him to win a gold glove. Save a couple of those bad throws from the left side once in a while and go out there and mash, baby. And his StatCast numbers are nuts. Sweet spot, 89th percentile. That's a launch angle sweet spot. Expected batting average of .301. He's actually hitting .346. So he's, he's overperforming a little bit. Been a little bit lucky. 75th percentile in strikeout percentage and in whiff percentage. It's nice to have somebody who's not an automatic K. I mean, Rizzo last year struck out so much and hit so many weak ground balls, and we're just getting better production this year. And I mean, you look at the rest of the order. I mean, we're getting better production in the outfield, obviously, than we had last year. Well, that's not fair. Soto and Judge were amazing, but really, Verdugo did nothing left. I think Dominguez is going to end up having more home runs, more RBIs, than Verdugo. Not as good defensively. I still think third base is an issue. Without Waldo, we're going to have to figure that out. Here's Steven.
Hi, Derek. This is Steven calling from Italy. I wanted to talk about the lineup since we don't have a game today. The fact that the lineup is different every day and the logic of why who's batting where is never clear is driving me crazy. And remember, last year the lineup was the same almost every day and we made it to the World Series. So this is what I actually think our lineup should be. I think Dominguez should hit leadoff and Goldschmidt should bat second. Goldschmidt's hitting .350, should bat before Judge, so there's somebody on base when Judge gets up. And ideally, like Earl Weaver said, 3-run homers. So Judge bats third. Trent Grisham should bat fourth. He's the most dangerous home run hitter in the lineup right now after Judge, and so he's fourth. And then fifth should be either Ben Rice or Giancarlo Stanton. If they're Yates, then Wells. Then I would put whoever's playing second and whoever's playing third in whichever order, and when Jazz gets back, I would bat him eighth, actually, and then Anthony Volpe ninth. This way you've got Volpe as a kind of an additional leadoff person who can steal bases, and then Dominguez and Goldschmidt get up who can drive them in. I mean, that's a lineup that makes some sense, and people should know what their role is. So I'm interested in what you think about it.
So I'm going to stop you right there. I love it. I mean, I love it. I've always been in favor of consistent lineups. Here's the problem, though. You got this log jam, right? I mean, every day one of the outfielders has to sit. I don't know if Trent Grisham's magic juice or whatever is going to wear off, but he's been tremendous. And you hope that he keeps hitting, and I hope he has a big series. I hate to see Dominguez sitting as much as he does. I would rather see Bellinger sit a little bit more. I'd emphasize the importance of development over, Bellinger trying to get it going. But Bellinger's hit better lately. He's got a 10-game hitting streak. but good call.
Hey, who can't get excited about the Mets-Yankees Subway Series here?
Losers.
In the Bronx. And I know you probably
haters.
don't like this one, Derek, but Devin Williams is going to be a key part of the Yankees' success this year. And so is Volpe, Austin Wells, and the Dominguez. They saw. Go Yankees.
Appreciate the call, Frank from California. I'm still skeptical about Devin Williams in a big spot. I'm not sure he's made of the kind of stuff that you need to be a closer. But if he's just pitching in relief, middle relief, I'll take it. He has looked better his last few times out. The airbender pitch is working much better. I want to see him more aggressive in throwing strikes. He's still walking too many guys, and that can kill you.
Hi, this is Stephen Francis again, and I'd love to give you my pitch of the brand new Pinstripe Territory belt winner introduction. And now, the new Pinstripe Territory belt winner of the day. X-person. Let me know if that has sufficed, and I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great evening.
First of all, I didn't realize we needed a new one. So, a couple things. One, you've got a great voice. You'd probably be a good podcaster, but that was boring as shit. That's how you announce a belt. Belt winner! We got Simon.
Hi, Derek. Simon Rosenthal calling from Bella Vista, New Haven, Connecticut. How you doing? Love the head, by the way. I have the same one on my table over here. What a great win today. The gift from God, Aaron Judge, struck again. I'm so glad we have him. And he's going to help us beat the Mets, too. They may have stolen the Mets, but we got the gift from God. And like Uncle Dom says from Pete Simonetti's show, sing us your song, you're the gavel man. You're going to beat the heck out of those Mets. Well, you have a good day, Derek. This is what I want to play on the machine. Thanks. Bye.
I appreciate it, Simon. Simon, we haven't heard from you in a while. Thanks for calling in. I thought maybe you died or something, but I'm glad you're back. I still have that voicemail you called in last year.
Hi, Derek. Simon Rosenthal calling. Wow, I like you shaved your head. You look great. Keep it bald.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't keep it bald. All right, so we got a couple more here. Here is, actually, no. The last ones are the ones we played yesterday. So that's it. So that's all the voicemails. Call in, and we're going to do another one of these tomorrow before the game when the lineup gets announced. I was going to do it in the middle of the day, but I've got a meeting I got to do. So we'll do a pregame, probably around 4 o'clock. And then earlier voicemail shows on both Saturday and on Sunday night. So on Sunday. So for the ESPN game. So call in. Can't wait to hear from you. Get hyped. Let's go Yanks. Hey, while I've got you here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Pinstripe Territory is the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We are home to the #1 most watched MLB postgame show on YouTube since 2021. We're here after every Yankees game and for reactions to all the best news and rumors during the offseason. Be a part of the show by calling into the voicemail 718-899-1068. Try to keep it clean for me. And if you ever miss us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe on all your favorite podcast platforms. Go ahead and rate us 5 stars. It'll help other people find the show. Thanks for watching. See ya.